and gentlemen, these are stories of men and women very much like you, waiting for better days to come.
This was a long shoot, 50 plus days, all on location. That provides, interesting challenges as you're working with the script. So for you, kind of how did that help inform what you were directing?
It's a Western, and I grew up in those movies as a kid. I never thought I would be lucky enough to get to make one. But when you think of a Western, you think of the great mythic landscapes, and that's what I wanted this journey to be through. And I was lucky enough to work with Darius Wolski, the great cinematographer, and we had an absolute bundle of fun making this film. It was a huge physical adventure because, of course, we were out in those landscapes for month after month as a group, and some of it was very challenging. There were some of those locations, like the shootout on the mountain. We had to be roped up hand over hand. It'd take 2 hours to get to the top, and then 2 hours down, and you'd have to rappel down. It was difficult. It was very challenging. Rattlesnakes and spiders, and the dangers of falling. You'd have to be roped on. So the entire making of the film was itself an adventure, and quite a physical one. And in a way, it shows in the film, I think.
While I love that there are, shootouts and plenty of action, it's so much about the power of words and storytelling and how that can bring about change and giving people the opportunity to choose.
I agree. Look, it's a film about the healing power of storytelling, is what it is. There's this character, Captain Kidd, who's a veteran, and he's lonely. And what he does is he travels from small community to small community in 1870, in the shadow of the Civil War, at a time when America's bitterly divided and in the shadow of tremendous loss. He goes from small community to small community with a sack of newspapers, and in small barns and in dusty town squares, he reads the news. And he reads local news, stories about the meningitis pandemic, federal news about the great changes coming to America, not all of which are popular at that time in Texas, of course, and because it is a world that's bitterly divided. And he tells stories about far-off places that people can only imagine, that take people out of themselves. And slowly but surely, those journeys are a tiny gossamer thread that reconnects community to small community. And it's in that way, it's about the healing power of storytelling. And that's something that I think we're going to experience in our culture today. We, all of us, whatever our politics, we want more unity, less division. And Captain Kidd's journey with this mysterious little girl through the epic, mythic landscape of Texas in 1870 is a journey towards healing, is an exciting, thrilling, moving journey in search of the light, in search of where do we belong? How do we find our way home? And that's a story as old as storytelling is, and speaks to us today. I think that's why I made the movie, because it feels like today, even though it's 1870.